Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Fry Plantain, and today we're going to be taking a look at the backlash that Christopher Nolan's latest movie, The Odyssey, has been receiving online. Now this movie, for whatever reason, is dividing a lot of people. Some people can't wait to check it out. Some people would rather not see it. Now, one of the fundamental reasons why certain individuals don't want to see it is simply because of the actors that Nolan decided to cast to play these roles. These roles are traditionally seen as, white roles or, Greek roles or whatever. Now, of course, Lupita is playing one of the dominant characters in the movie. I believe she's playing Helen of Troy. Of course, we all know Lupita is a black woman. She is originally from Kenya. And you've got a wide range of different actors and actresses playing roles that you wouldn't typically associate with these characters. Like, I believe Elliot Page, of course, is playing a character, or a rather prominent character in the movie. And of course, we all know Elliot Page is a transgendered male. Back in the days, Elliot Page used to be Ellen Page, and she starred in many great movies. Hard Candy was a movie that she appeared in years ago, which was very interesting. Ellen Page was one hell of an actress, and now she's transitioned into male. So a lot of people are quite put off by Christopher Nolan's decision to hire all of these different actors, especially Lupita. Even Elon Musk is not a fan of the casting. In my opinion, again, when we're talking about fictional stories, you can't help but feel, is it really that bad of an idea to cast, different races and different people as these characters? Me personally, I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. These are fictional stories. But I understand where people are coming from. I do get it. The Odyssey is a classic. This story has been taking over mainstream media for quite a few weeks now. A lot of people are pissed off at Christopher Nolan. So we're gonna check this out. We're gonna explore some of these tweets from Elon Musk, and we're gonna check out Christopher Nolan's latest interview with 60 Minutes, which might allow us to kind of get a bigger insight into his mindset as to why he would do something like this. So I figured, let's watch the trailer first to kind of get a feel of the movie. Most of us know who Christopher Nolan is. The guy is a genius. Many people would consider Christopher Nolan to be a genius. I remember the first time I watched Memento, which in my opinion is his greatest movie. Either Memento or The Prestige. I'm not entirely sure which one I'm going to pick. Let's just say for today, Memento. Great movie, really fantastic movie. I believe I watched that movie when I was 15 or 16 years old. The fact that the movie was jumping back and forth through time, essentially, it was very disjointed narrative. And I feel like Christopher Nolan really pioneered that technique. Of course, we've seen disjointed narratives with the likes of Quentin Tarantino, but Nolan did it in such a special, unique way because the main character in Memento did actually have memory issues. So in the movie, as you watch the movie, you're kind of seeing things from the protagonist's perspective, which is just amazing. A lot of directors are not able to really do that. So shout out to Nolan, fantastic director.
I think it's asleep.
Yeah, if you ask me, the movie looks pretty awesome. You could tell it's very action-packed, very dramatic, some pretty solid acting. I've never been the biggest fan of Matt Damon, I will admit, but he looks pretty decent in this movie. Of course, it's just a trailer, so it's a bit hard to determine whether or not he's actually gonna perform well, but I gotta be honest, I'm kind of liking the trailer. And if you just check out the comments, of course, the comments are not very good. The only good thing about this trailer is the comment section. The Audacity by Homer Simpson. So clearly a lot of people are not a fan. A lot of people are not looking forward to this. To me, it's kind of sad because, like I said, Christopher Nolan's one of the greatest directors of our time. I swear this is an SNL skit. Look at me, I'm Helen of Troy now. So I'm guessing that's in reference to Lupita. Let's actually check out what Elon Musk is saying, because Elon Musk has been a rather prominent detractor when it comes to this film. He's not a fan of it. Elon Musk in recent years has definitely leaned towards the right. Early on in his career, he definitely did seem to be more of a liberal guy, more of a leftist, but in the last 5-6 years he's leaned more towards the right. Of course, he has a transgender daughter. Again, that's probably another thing that he's not a fan of. They've kind of been at loggerheads for a few years now. So Elon Musk is, he wants nothing to do with this kind of liberal woke world that we're currently living in. The Odyssey. Chris Nolan desecrated The Odyssey so that he would be eligible for an Academy Award. Now that is one hell of a theory. As you can see, Elon Musk is not a fan of the casting choice. He's definitely not a fan of the casting choice. And of course, a lot of the commenters are making these little jokes. If you're gonna do this, why not make Martin Luther King white? Why not make Malcolm X white? Of course, these were real, legit people that actually existed in real life. So for me, I think that's always a strange comparison when people do that. Odysseus, that's a fictional character. So let's actually check out the interview, the latest 60 minutes interview with Christopher Nolan, and hopefully we'll be able to get a deeper insight into how Christopher Nolan's mind works. And perhaps we will get an explanation as to why he decided to cast Lupita as Helen of Troy and, perhaps Elliot Page as another prominent character in the movie. Let's check. Very interesting that he would say that, because the fact of the matter is Black people do enjoy watching movies. You guys know I love movies. A lot of my videos contain these intros that I try to make as cinematic as possible. A lot of Black people, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in America, whether it's in bloody Central America, we all love film. And so for Nolan to say that, clearly you understand where he's going. He's trying to be representative of the audience. The audience is made up of many different races, many different cultures. He's trying to make a 2026 version of The Odyssey. There have been previous versions of this movie that are very traditional. Clearly, Christopher Nolan is taking a new approach. Some people are going to hate it. Some people are going to love it. I reckon when the movie does debut in a few months' time, a lot of Black people are going to love the movie. They're going to love the fact that Lupita is playing Helen of Troy. Now, naturally, there are going to be quite a few white individuals that despise the movie. And that's okay. That's okay. The beautiful thing about film is that, it can inspire people, it can motivate people, it can make people feel great, it can make people feel sad. Film is an art form. You can't have every single person loving your movie. Christopher Nolan is one of the most renowned, highly regarded film directors of all time. He's a genius. He's an absolute genius. And many people love him. And many people love his movies, but when it comes to this new film, there's a good chance this film might not be as highly regarded as his other movies, but that's just the way the game works, As a director, you can't make a movie that appeals to everyone. It's just impossible. Let's check out a few Reddit threads that I found earlier. Now, this one basically says Christopher Nolan defends The Odyssey casting Travis Scott. And Travis Scott, I believe, is like a rapper, right? He's like a Black rapper, born 1991. Yep. That's actually kind of crazy to me that he cast Travis Scott. That actually surprises me quite a bit. So this movie is going to be completely different. It kind of reminds me of when they made that kind of new remake of, was it The Great Gatsby, that came out maybe like 2020, 2013, I think, something like that. And The Great Gatsby, that movie, you know, it featured like a hip hop soundtrack. It was very modern. That movie pissed off a lot of people too. So I'm kind of thinking that Christopher Nolan may be walking a similar line. He may be walking a similar road. I'm not entirely sure. Why is Christopher Nolan's Odyssey film receiving hate? Now, one person commented, actors talk using modern street English, which is seen as immersion breaking, historically inaccurate, and armor and clothing. Some people don't like the casting choices. That's fundamentally the main reason. A Hispanic guy who complained that white people shouldn't play Latinos is playing a white guy. It's a mixed bag. A lot of people don't want to see this film because of the casting choices, because of, I guess, that the language that's going to be used in the movie is too modern. It's way too modern. The whole Christopher Nolan Odyssey situation feels extremely off. Now, this is from the Critical Drinker subreddit. Maybe it's me coping because I have the idea of one of my favorite directors succumbing to the Hollywood bullshit, but let's look at his track record. This dude has major attention to detail for his movies. Dunkirk was all white British cast. He even crashed the World War II era plane for authenticity, and he was super in depth with the science in Interstellar that famous physicists will look at. Sometimes these directors make deal with the devil and it's just money. Hey, that could be true too, but I think fundamentally Nolan is trying to take things in an original direction. He's trying to create an updated version of the Odyssey, and based on what he said in that 60 minutes interview, he wants the movie to reflect the audience. It's as simple as that. It's not even that deep.
A British man is making a film about the Odyssey with a cast stacked with Brits, and everyone has an American accent. So much to discuss. British people, especially English people, have always been ingrained in Hollywood. It has always been a topic of debate how included we feel or how much we feel the Isle is selling out to the Yankees. On my trips to Canada, I've heard much the same story. Something of our sovereign identity gets lost as we try to work with the Americans. Often our work gets sanded down into a shape that general American audiences can enjoy. However, I remember a time when on prestige projects such as these, you could at least have the Americans attempt a British accent, right? More on the elephant in the room in a moment. Why? Well, this film was not made in America, and it was not made by an American director, and it clearly wants to run for the prestige hills and give Damon and co. another crack at an Oscar.
Is Yorgos Lanthimos directing it?
No, it's Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan?
Yeah.
Not Christoforos?
Matt Damon's in it though.
Damianos.
No, Matt Damon.
We have a big problem here. I will not be seeing this movie.
How come?
Let me educate you. Essential reading.
Thank you.
Plato's Dialogues, the Iliad, the Odyssey, Edith Hamilton's translation of Greek mythology. But if you're going to read that, then you also have to read the Greek Orthodox Study Bible. Let's say they used Greeks as non-union extras. That's one step above slavery. They couldn't find one beautiful Greek woman. I mean, you know, at this point, Emma Stone's kind of Greek. If there was someone from a country that consumes baklava, I'll allow it. But I don't think Anne Hathaway has any idea what philo is. Penelope? Xechaseto. That's a Greek lesson for forget about it.